So, welcome to my channel. My name is Emmy from Emmy Evolving. If this is your first time joining me, thank you for finding me. If this is not your first time, thank you for coming back. So, sorry I've been gone for quite a few days. Let me just do this really quick. All right. Okay. There we go. All right. So, hi. Hello. Hello. Let me get some cards. I asked what this reading was going to be about, and what I heard is heart pounding hard. It's about to happen. Something's about to happen. I'm not sure what, but something's going to be happening very, very soon. And so hopefully this reading is arriving in perfect time for you to prepare for whatever it is that's going to be happening for you. So, sorry, I'm not going to be chipper today. Don't know that it can be playful either. Might just be a serious type of very quick, very succinct type of reading. All right, almost ready. So something intense is happening for some of you. It's an intense process that you're in. It's definitely something that's going to alter the trajectory of whatever it is you're supposed to do. It's going to cause a lot of shifting, changing, all of that, right? So you have to be ready to flow, to move. For some of you, it might be an actual literal move. You might literally be moving, okay? All right. So let's get started. Just a quick disclaimer. Today will not be the day to try me energetically. So if you have intentions to try me energetically, save it for a different day. I promise you. Heed my words. Okay? So here goes. Okay. Remembrance in reverse. Something's been forgotten. Something about whatever process, whatever objective, something has been forgotten. And it's a very, very important component that's been forgotten. And so it's needing to be remembered at this point. We're really, really needing to kind of make sure that we're looking at all the different aspects from all the different angles that you could look. It's almost like this, it almost feels like this is deja vu, like I did this reading several years ago or something, where it's like something that's being avoided is coming full circle. It's like being presented very, very much in your face. Very, very much hard to ignore, hard to pass up. It's something that's very obvious to you, but maybe you are explaining it away as something else. Maybe it's this thing of trying to convince yourself that You can't possibly be accurate. You're not quite reading this right. There's no way. There's absolutely a way. There is absolutely a way. Um, let's see what else the cards say. Because it's this sense of, okay, I don't even have it in me to be bitter. I don't even have it in me to like, just the cards are coming out the way they're coming out. This has to do with the masculine and has to do with the cycles that the two of you have been in, right? This has to do with the masculine that you've been cycling with, cycling through different types of cycles with. Um, you're reading things accurately. I don't know what you're reading, but the sense is that you're reading things accurately. Stop gaslighting yourself into believing that you're somehow inaccurate in your assessment of the situation, and kind of just take it for what it is. Take it for what it is. Whatever the message you're receiving, that's the message. Okay, that's the message. Stop trying to make it something else. Stop trying to so security in reverse and winter in reverse. It's about feeling, I guess, like overly exposed and maybe not as safe through cold season that's approaching, and it might go ahead and escalate and amplify as we enter more into the cold season. uh, there's a desire for a union, right? There's definitely a desire for union, and I don't know what type of union that is. So there is an acknowledgement that someone has been um, in a state of incubation, and it's almost like they're no longer wanting. I don't know if it's you or if it's the other person. They're no longer wanting to be in an incubator. They're no longer wanting to be so separate and so far removed and alone in whatever process that they're in. This whole situation is going to use up a lot of that manifestation energy. There's a likelihood that if you guys don't know how to utilize manifestation energy, how to utilize your energy, period, that whatever it is you're trying to bring to fruition, it's not going to happen during this process. This is a process that's going to utilize the energy more than any other process. Whatever limited energetic reserves you have in your auric field, this is going to take kind of like priority over the other things that you're trying to do, you know? Let's see. Hold on. Hold the phone. Hold the phone. Hold on, guys. Let's see. I don't know how to work this. I don't know. I don't know. Okay. So the next card, the death card, right? So there's this thing that's happening. It could be the ending of old, you know, old type, old type stuff. Um, it's almost like an ego death. For people who are thinking, oh, no, no. Oh, yeah. Yes. I didn't mean to click that. But yes, help support Soulwork Synergistics. We've partnered with Florida Indian River Groves to provide you with the freshest fruit available. This premium fruit comes with a 100% satisfaction guarantee from Florida Indian River Groves. Go check that out. I didn't mean to click it, but since it's there already, might as well share. I was trying to scroll down. um, oh, sorry. You might hear a lot of these types of sounds coming from me during the reading, okay? Um, so this death card, there's an ending that's occurring, and I think the death card has a lot to do for this reading, has a lot to do with the people who really think that they know exactly what another person outside of themselves is thinking and feeling, where they're coming from. Assumptions are assumptions. That's all they are. Assumptions are assumptions. And unless it comes out of their mouth, then it's an assumption. Unless they literally say it to you, then it's an assumption. Okay. And so we have to make sure that the things that we are assuming are rooted in actual truth, not what you assume to be truth, but actual truth. Because this is a period where you're really going to be corrected in your perception of what's happening. This is a period where there's going to be a lot of realizations of how inaccurate your assumptions might have been. And I don't know what's being assumed. I don't know if this has to do with romance. I don't know that it has to do with friendship or work or soul-based whatever. It's just really this sense of there's going to be some major corrections. There's going to be major corrections. I'm not doing any correcting. I think these are corrections that are going to occur to give you the clarity that you need. So this is not something that's based in lust. This is not someone that's merely lusting after you. This is someone who, there's a lot of stuff that's been happening, I assume, between the two of you, and these things that have been happening. There's a potential that a lot of what so many of us have assumed about another person were actually thoughts incepted by parasitic things. There is that potentiality. Okay. And it's this thing where if your pride, if your ego is going to be causing you to think like, no, I'm accurate. Motherfucker, I'm accurate too, but I can't read shit for myself. I promise you. I am super duper accurate, but I can't read shit for myself. I can't. I can't because there's too many distortions that occur because it's for me, because it's for people that I love. I can't. See how that works? So don't allow yourself to get in this mindset of you're like 100% accurate, but at the same time, if you're the type of person that has no problems with, questioning your level of accuracy and your understanding, you probably accurate as fluffles. You're probably super duper accurate. See, it's about this thing of flipping the coin. You know what I mean? Flipping the coin. The people who are the most accurate have a tendency to be the very people who question the accuracy. That's just kind of what I've seen over and over and over again. Like I teach classes And my students who doubt themselves the most, if you give them enough time, they will show you they are the most profoundly gifted. Like the most profoundly gifted. It's usually the one that's like, "Oh, I'm badass. I'm badass." That's like, no, I don't know. I just really don't know. Um, oh shit. Okay, I gotta cancel this. I'm just not, I can't. I can't. Uh, okay. Okay. So, just really allow yourself to see where you're rooted, to see, what it is that you need to see for yourself. I'm not saying I know more than you about you. I'm saying really make sure you're centered before you start making assumptions and start acting on those assumptions. See, the only thing worse than having assumptions is acting upon them. Yeah. Yeah. There's been plenty of situations where I acted on an assumption and my assumption was wrong. And it created issues for me because, I really should not have acted on those assumptions. I'm feeling one of you today really I'm just okay, letting go. This is someone who doesn't want to let go. Maybe they don't want to let go of their assumptions, right? Or maybe what they don't want to let go of is you, or maybe you don't want to let go of them. There's this holding on. There's this holding on that's taking place. And I don't know that's the best thing to do. Now, it might be this thing of trying to minimize the awkwardness. It might be this thing of trying to minimize the awkwardness so that way um, they don't feel so overly exposed and vulnerable, or maybe you, so you don't feel overly exposed and vulnerable. But it's really affecting the focus, right? It's really, really, really affecting the focus of what it is you're trying to accomplish. And that lack of focus is blocking the messages from coming through. It's upside down. The messages, if they do come through, they might be upside down. They might be um, creating more confusion than the clarity they were intended to provide you with. There's a lot of differences that are needing to be accepted. The difference between your perception and the reality of what's actually going on can sometimes be so far profound, so far removed that there's difficulty in reconnecting, difficulty in aligning. Someone is, who is that? There's so much anxiety. I know it's not mine. There's just so much anxiety. Someone has so much anxiety over whatever it is they're stressing about. And if you don't want to feel my energy, you shouldn't stay here in my space that I share. And if you don't mind feeling my energy, perfect, because I'm about to spread a shit ton of sedation through this space. This is my space. It belongs to me and I share it. And so if you are not willing to allow any of my energies, the energies that I harness, to, if you're not willing to be exposed to that, it would probably be a good time to just click off, because I'm not asking for permission. This space belongs to me. It is mine. It is shared. It's a space that I share. So with that being said, my energy will always honor your sovereignty. Without permission from your highest self, it won't enter your field. And if I don't have permission from your highest self, you can kindly excuse yourself now. All right. So someone is choosing to surrender to their emotions because they see no other way to start a new chapter. I think you are the new chapter, whatever that means. You are the new chapter. And so it's this thing of like really allowing yourself. I'm having a really rough time right now. If it's me, you have all the permission. No, I don't think it's you. Unless you have a penis. I think it's a male. It's a masculine energy. And I'm not trying to figure out who it is. It feels like a very masculine energy. And, they can book a session if they need to have a conversation. It's not you either, Chris. It's not you, Chris. It's probably someone that doesn't comment, which is fine. You don't have to comment, but I have to exert my dominance over my space. I'm not angry. I'm just, truth be told, I'm dealing with something right now that I really don't feel like discussing on a live stream, and it's causing a lot of pain. And so I'm a little less patient today. Usually I wouldn't even mention any of this, but not today, motherfuckers, not today. It's not someone malignant. Okay. I don't feel malignancy, but here's the thing. Someone is surrendering to their emotions. Someone is actually surrendering to their emotion, and it's causing them to feel some sort of way. And it's almost like there's this recognition that you are the new chapter. It's upside down right now, and they don't know how to right side it up. They're needing to go through the shadow aspects of themselves so that they can better understand, better understand the trajectory of whatever this is. I'm sorry, I'm all crooked. They're needing to better understand the trajectory of what this is, but it's like they have no patience with their human journey. They have no patience when it comes to giving themselves the time and the space to really sift through whatever it is that they're needing to sift through. And I want to thank you guys for wanting to make sure that it's not you. I know you guys would never do anything. And again, I don't feel like this person is malignant. I just don't have the capacity to take in someone else's pain right now. So golden crown and believe. It's like coming to this point of recognition, right? Like they're recognizing all sorts of different things. It's almost also like they're receiving quite a bit of messages across their cranial space from their higher self, but it's hard for them to believe that there is accuracy in the messages that they're receiving. I'm wondering if that's you. Because at the beginning of this reading, it was this sense of like, stop gaslighting yourself into believing that you have zero accuracy. And again, this is for the people who think that they don't know or that they couldn't possibly be receiving messages from their own soul. This is not a message for those who already have this belief of like they're so accurate, they're, like the shit and whatever else you think. Um, Again, I've worked with thousands of clients, literally thousands, and people who have that mindset have a tendency to be the people who are the most wrong in their perception, the most inaccurate. And I don't say this to tear anyone down. I say this so that you can recalibrate yourself. But the thing with people like that, people who have that mindset, and this goes through every single culture, color, nation, ethnicity. It exists. There are people like this, members of groups who are like this in every single group. It's not subject to one group. Okay, every single group has people who have this type of mindset. And the thing is, when you have this type of mindset, you really, really cripple your own growth, your trajectory. You greatly and negatively affect your learning. Okay. If you feel like you can't learn from someone else, you're probably the one who stands to learn the most if you just and listen, right? Oftentimes, when I'm in a group of people, I will be the last one to speak if I speak at all, because I'm so busy listening to others and their perceptions and how, what they think and how they see, because it really can very greatly help me to put my puzzle pieces together. And they don't even know they're doing this, right? It helps me to better understand like some of my perceptions and the limitations of those perceptions and the ways in which I can expand my view of the world. Like I learned so much from the most random people, like so much from the most random people. And it could even be something where someone is in a private session with me and I'm like, whoa, I'm learning so much right now, and that's the thing. I think a lot of my personal growth and the expansion of my personal power really comes from the fact that I feel like I can learn from everyone. I don't feel like I'm in a position of power or authority. I mean, I can be if I need to be. Don't get me wrong. I can be if I need to absolutely assert my dominance in any space, but that's usually not ever necessary. It's very rare for that ever to be necessary. Um, so that's definitely something we just we need to know where we stand with that, right? We need to know if our ego is being fueled by our insecurity, which is then causing blockages and limiting our learning and expansion of awareness. Okay. That's very important. It doesn't make you a bad person if you're in that space. It just means that this is the perfect opportunity for you to recognize what space you're actually in and to, do something about that so that you can grow more, you know? Unconditional love in reverse. So everything is very conditioned in this, very programmed. There is conditions that have to be met. I feel it in the chest. I absolutely feel it in the chest. I feel something. Is this like a fear of rejection, fear of abandonment, fear of not being enough? Just this intense fear. This like, it's like you don't understand. No one's going to understand until you communicate what they need to understand. You don't make someone understand by playing this game of try and find out, playing this game of catch me if you can. You know what I mean? So it's definitely like, I don't know, it's quite possibly someone is in their process of trying to figure themselves out, their process of trying to figure out how they fit into your life. Heart pounding, it's about to happen. there's also a secondary meaning to this. It could potentially be you trying to find out where you fit into, like, where your professional aspirations, how that fits into your life, and maybe the best way to achieve something. You know, it doesn't always have to be about whatever it's looking like this reading is about. It doesn't always have to be about that, you know. Effective. And as I'm reading this, Athlean X is just, I swear to God, his videos are amazing. But a notification came in, the 100% chest workout most effective. Well, it is chest day and I can't go, but the message came in as I'm tapping on my chest. I'm feeling, again, I don't know if someone's been having anxiety attacks. If you are someone who is having a lot of struggles with anxiety, and I'm not a doctor, I'm not giving you medical advice, but I am sharing what has helped me in the past. Looking into your vagus nerve and how to kind of calm your vagus nerve down. It could be an overstimulated vagus nerve. You just take an ice pack, you put it on the left side, kind of by your neck, on your chest. If it's big enough, this whole area be covered. That has a tendency to really calm me down, you know? So that could potentially help you. Maybe talking to someone who actually has the capacity to listen and not just give advice, but actually listen to you. That might be able to help you. What's your problem with crying? Why don't you allow yourself to cry? Or whoever this is, I suddenly am aware of a person. I choose not to see their face. I choose not to know their identity. I don't need to know. But like, it's this sense of, it's because you bottle everything up. You don't allow yourself to process and purge. You have to be able to give yourself permission to process and purge, or you're going to end up with this type of situation. How do I know? Because that's what I used to do. That's what I used to do. That's why I'm just totally like, the moment you show me that you have a problem with me being emotional and crying on a live stream is the moment I no longer trust you, because I know so many people just like you who tell me I don't have their permission to process my life, a life they don't understand, a life they haven't lived. And so if I need to process and purge while I'm live streaming and just allow myself to shed a couple tears, that's not me being emotional and out of control. That's me finally having the courage and using that courage to process and purge in a public manner so that you can have the template from which you can begin to learn how to process and purge your own things that need to be processed and purged, right? Like, this is really not the space for the shaming and the demands to conform, because I promise you I'll never conform. I'd rather fucking die, literally. I would. I'd rather die. So that's the thing. That's what I'm picking up on. Someone refuses to allow themselves to feel the emotions that they're feeling. I mean, do you want to heal, or do you want to just put a Band-Aid? Because if you want to heal, you know, you're going to kind of have to let the pus out. That's pus. At this point, it's pus, you know? Chris. Oh, Chris, we don't have to die on the hill. It's good to know you'd be right there beside me. Yeah, no, it's really this thing of like allowing yourself to live with no more apologies, you know, knowing that sometimes your existence will offend people who are incapable of being autonomous. Ooh, shots fired, bitches. Shots have been fired. um So, are you ready to be authentic? Are you really truly ready to reach the next part of your life, your journey? This is it. This is your opportunity. I'm not blowing smoke up your ass or any of that. Like, this is literally your opportunity. All it takes is you making a decision. Are you ready to live a life that's full of what you know you deserve? Because if you're ready, it requires you to let go of all the bullshit that you filled your warehouses with. There's no room for that anymore. You're stuffed to the gills with other people's traumas, other people's limitations. You're going to have to purge that out. And if you can purge that out, then you'll have space for all the goodness that's been waiting, absolutely waiting to enter into your life. The beautiful thing about spiritual sovereignty is that nothing and no one can block what's rightfully yours from returning home to you. The ugly thing about spiritual sovereignty is that if you're run by fear, if you're run by emotional blockages, emotional limitations, and other people's traumas and pain, then you will go ahead and block that yourself. What do you really want? Do you want to keep talking about the life you think you deserve? Or do you want to start allowing it to come in? What do you want? Do tell. So, just so you guys know, I'm going to be doing energy work before this live stream ends. I'm going to go ahead and do energy work. And if you're wanting to receive some of that energy work, you're going to have to make sure that you're subscribed so that you can comment, because the energy work, it will be calibrated to the specific hashtag that I'm going to give you guys when I'm ready to do the energy work. Okay. So this is about taking a time out, right? This is about allowing yourself to take a time out, allowing yourself to really, really just breathe. Breathe. Okay. That lack of deep, intentional breath sometimes can create enough emotional stagnation that it then becomes a compromised state that you're living in. Ooh. Okay, someone's sad about being separated from someone else. They don't understand why. This is needing to be cleansed. So that way they can return back. So here, look, the way this kind of plays out. Card number 15, fire cleanser, and then card number 47, soul separation. Notice how that looks like it's fire. Fire cleansing the pathways to bring the two back together, right? Right? So, oh, you're with us with an ice pack. Is it helping you, Sarah Soul? Is it helping? Hopefully it's helping you. It has a tendency to really help me after like a minute or so. Everything kind of just starts to chillax. Okay. So again, this is someone who doesn't understand why it didn't work. Like the connection faltered. Ooh, I've never noticed this. This like string that goes up to the mouth and it's right there. And then there's this circular space right here. That's a lot. That's a lot. That's a lot. And then I never really realized the red dot on the forehead, indicative of the third eye simply being used for survival rather than for assisting you in your process of entering into a state of thriving. You know, I don't have the capacity right now to do expedites. I'm just not able to. And I don't know when I'll be able to be honest. So it's a bit difficult right now. Okay, so here's the thing. What I'm seeing here is, whoever is part of this equation, they're really not understanding, they're not seeing how they co-created this, right? They co-created this with you, and it's something that's really been difficult. It seems like they've just been observing. I think that might be them. Just observing how it's like this baptism through fire occurred. It was co-created, you know? It was definitely co-created, this circumstance. There's no innocent one here. I don't feel like this was an attack on someone. I feel like there's a lot of fear-based assumptions that were occurring, and these fear-based assumptions really, really affected you guys both. So Andaran activation and Blu-ray awakening in reverse. This is telling me that you're not going to reach the next level of your dimensional growth, your frequency-based consciousness awareness, until you allow the BS of ego-based assumptions, ego-based behaviors to naturally end. You're going to have to let go of your ego. Letting go of ego does not mean randomly allowing someone back into your field and you have no tangible awareness of their intention with you. It's super important to begin requiring an understanding of someone's intentions. Like, what do they intend with you? Why are they here? What do they want? People will be like, oh, that's so paranoid. It's not paranoid. It's not paranoid for you to seek the root causation. That's how you avoid unnecessary BS. A lot of the things that we are taught in regards to our behaviors, it's just compliance, really. Like trying to force you to comply with societal norms, and societal norms exist so that you can be better controlled. I'm sorry that I'm not sorry that if there's going to be someone who's controlling in a situation that involves people outside of just me, myself, and I'm going to be the one in control, because you're not going to control me, because fuck that shit. I wish a motherfucker would. I wish a motherfucker would, because I'm not having none of that shit. We can talk openly. We can have discussions. We can hold symposium where we share our thoughts and our opinions, and then we can come to conclusions together, or excuse ourselves from the symposium and come to conclusions separately, and be able to disagree in a respectful way that still allows for every person involved in that conversation, in that symposium, to be autonomous in their decision making. But oftentimes what ends up happening is you get into a situation that involves other people outside of just you, yourself, and yourself. And there will be someone in that equation who will think that they have the authority, because who gave that to you? To tell you what to think and how to believe and how you should structure your behaviors based on this newly adopted mindset. Like, no, just no. I refuse. I will not comply with that. I will not participate. I won't do any of that. You don't have to share my opinion, just like I don't have to share yours. Now we can still get along. We can still absolutely get along. We can be respectful in our disagreeing, right? Disagreement means you don't share the same opinions, you don't share the same stance. Disagreement is not synonymous with arguing. Arguing is when you're trying to force someone else to believe your beliefs. That's not okay. That's just not okay. It's not. So, this whole thing is leading to a stage of metamorphosis, but there's a lot of self sabotage going on, right? Excuse me. So, 33 and 48. 33 is that master number, right? Reaching a point of being able to ascend to the next level of dimensional awareness. 48 is you not being willing to merge your components to become more whole. So many of us have become so fragmented, that we don't even really know who we are or what we believe. We kind of just, that hurt my eye. We kind of just go based off of what's the most popular belief right now, right? We're going to follow the person who sounds like they know the most. Whether they know the most or not is irrelevant. Whether they're healthy for me or not is irrelevant. That's absolutely relevant. It's absolutely necessary for you to know how someone else's beliefs before you adopt those beliefs, you know, before you take it in. You have to know first, what is their intention when they share these beliefs? And secondly, how do their beliefs that you are about to adopt, how does that affect your life and your trajectory? And this logic applies to me in the things that I say. I absolutely don't expect any of you to just blindly take in what I say, because that's not what you should do. You should question, right? Yes. Yes. You should question. You should absolutely take that sovereign seat within your life where you are the utmost authority, right? And we're just speaking as equals. I'm sharing my opinions, and then it's up to you to later decide how you're going to, or if you're going to, integrate my opinions into your life, into your mindset. Okay. So, card number 48, 4 is a number of self, 8 is a number of reunification. And here it's kind of telling me that you are still thinking that you have to keep all your parts separate, or else what? Someone will think you're crazy. Honey, let me tell you something I learned. Unless you are doing exactly as someone else says, they're already thinking you're, how dare you not blindly believe everything that I'm saying? And I'm over here like, how dare you, you fucking cow? I am not a blade of grass for you to consume, you fucking heifer. I'm just saying. I'm just saying, right? No one gets to force you into a space of trying to believe what doesn't resonate. Here's the thing. If you hear me say something and you're immediately like, yes, I'm seriously, okay, that means you already believed it. And you just didn't have anyone in your environment that was giving you permission to believe it. And because you heard me, I'm giving y'all my crazy eyes at this point. If you hear me saying it and you're already believing it and you're like, oh my God, that's what I'm saying, that means you already believed it and you're just gaining the courage that's necessary to stand in your truth and your opinions, because now it's like, oh, I'm not alone in this. There's someone else who also thinks this. Yes, seriously, you're not alone in it. Come on now. You ain't the only one that thinks outside the box. You're not the only one. Okay, what was I gonna do? What was I gonna do? I was gonna pull a final card, and then I was gonna go ahead and do energy walk. Let's pull one from What? Wait, wait. Oh my God. Sorry. I promise you it's not moans of pleasure. Okay. It's gonna be fine. It's gonna be fine. Oh, heifer. You like when I say heifer? Some bitches be acting like heifers is why. You don't like me using the word heifer. You probably a heifer your damn self, baby boo. Let me just stop. Let me stop. I'm in fucking pain. Let me laugh, okay? Not emotional pain. I've learned to deal with that a long time ago. I'm talking about physical. I'm so like no longer masochistic. It does not feel good. It hurts. Um I'm not even going to listen to music. I just need to plug my ears because no, I don't need to poop. Are you kidding me? I'm not irregular. I'm not backed up with my own bullshit, Chris. I'm saying. Okay. I dislocated something is what happened. I dislocated something. It's in the process of healing. It's in the process. Okay. Ooh. Ooh, the numbers are talking. 33, 44, and 3. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Master receiving the self as a whole in order to create a solid foundation from which to just all the way up. Yeah, no, it's I just have like a ridiculous pain tolerance. So I don't necessarily cry off pain. I don't, but it makes me grumpy. Makes me into a grumpy motherfucker. Because I am. Yeah. I've lost my laughter. The seriousness is about to ensue. I've lost my ability to laugh. Okay, we're almost there. Here goes. Card number 33. Anahatakali, beautiful, powerful mother of the sacred universal heart, who lives within our hearts as a wisdom and healing power of love. Your heart knows how to heal and how to open, how to break and repair itself to become stronger and wiser than before. Your heart cannot be contained or constrained by what has taken place. Your heart wisdom and empowerment are growing. Soon you shall have the wisdom and courage to accomplish something very important for your soul journey. Trust in the invisible workings of divine love. Let your heart be at peace. So divine love, it's working its magic in your heart and your life. And if you flow with it, you can quite possibly reestablish an internal peace. Okay. The journey of the soul is a journey from the head to the heart. Anahata is a Sanskrit name for the heart chakra. Anahatakali is a goddess who secures the awakening, transformation, and liberation of the heart. Love is her expression. When Kalima touches the heart, it becomes capable of love that is increasingly unconditional, fearless, and compassionate. Such empowerments often manifest through loss and betrayal. In responding to such challenges, we grow our heart's capacity for love, processing and healing emotions of grief, betrayal, and anger. Our heart becomes stronger through the process. The human heart is capable of overcoming enormous negativity. It's an astonishingly powerful and beautiful temple of spirit. We can underestimate the extraordinary power of the heart by focusing on its sweetness, love, and light. as though they were weaker than anger, fear, or the consuming intensity of grief. See, that's the thing, is that like we like to exist in a state of fractionated dis-ease. We are so comfortable in being nothing more than one portion of a duality. Not me. I am a totality. Whatever I'm capable of in one degree of positioning, I'm capable of in the opposing degree of positioning. As bright as my light is, my darkness is equally as consuming. Right? And I will tap into either one as is necessary and dictated by my soul. And that's where you need to enter into that space of being able to accept yourself in all your different stages and positions and levels and layers of intensity or lack thereof. You have to be able to love yourself to the degree that you can accept, embrace yourself as a totality. You have to. You have to. So we can only begin to understand the spiritual worlds and how they operate when we let go of the human perspective. A human believes that the heavier and denser something is, the more powerful it is. Not true. A heavy emotion like anger or physical situations that appears gridlocked are given more weight than the intangible realms of spirit. Yet spirit is behind all things, in all things. Being invisible does not impede its effectiveness. If anything, it enhances it. For something so seemingly invisible, love has conquerable power. We affirm this in expressions such as love can move mountains, or love will always find a way. Yet we are conditioned to believe that there's more power in what we can see and control rather than the spiritual power of love. Such conditioning pulls us away from the heart connection and into the fear-based belief system that we need to control things or there will be no benefit, no safety, no happiness. And some of us, we've gone in a polar opposite direction and have believe that if we allow other people to be disrespectful, to disregard us, to be full on malignant towards us, and I had to learn this the hard way, that we're somehow showing elevations in our spiritual awareness. We're showing elevations in our spiritual development. That's not true either. It's not. Is it really not? I had to learn this the hard way. I promise you, this was the shittiest lesson that I had to learn. This thing of no response is the appropriate response. Not always. Sometimes, yes. Sometimes you need to absolutely lay the smacketh downeth. Not physically, of course, unless it's necessary. But yeah, no, sometimes you need to halt all of that bullshit that you're experiencing by taking the appropriate level of response at the appropriate level of intensity. Okay? Because some people really just don't learn until you show them, I can take this as far as you're willing to go. Right? Like, I can take this. I'm not going to back down. You're either going to stop or we're going to go until I make you stop. And not all situations require that level of intensity, but some absolutely do. And simply just hoping for the best is not enough. It is not enough. So, what is the message I'm trying to get across? That you need to begin learning how to discern when you should just walk away quietly, maintain your dignity, or when you have to fight for your dignity to be honored, to be considered and honored. Because sometimes you need to just walk away. They can be running their mouth and that's fine. Just walk away. And sometimes you need to go as far as you need to go. Okay. An example. If someone's like, well, how? Okay. An example. I was renting this property and the owner felt it was okay to unlock deadbolt locks using their key and access the property. Didn't say anything because it's like, okay, let me just, it's fucking weird. But let me not overreact. Let me not be like that. And then it kept escalating and escalating and escalating to the degree that this person wanted to enter into the home every few days, was trying to use legalities. Motherfucker, why do you need to enter every single bedroom? You don't need to enter every single bedroom for what? For what? And when I expressed my concern and my discomfort, that was not heard. Instead, that was taken as the green light to full on violate me as a woman, violate the sacred sanctity of what I call my home. Okay, motherfucker, let's take it all the fucking way. Lawyer up. Let's do this shit. I will sell every fucking single one of my crystals. Girlfriend don't got cheap crystals. I will sell every single fucking one to fund a full-on legal fucking war. Oh, you won't stop at me just sending you a cease and desist? Stop fucking entering the property that I'm paying for exclusive use of. You won't? Okay. Let's take it all the fucking way. Had to. I had to. There was no other option. I had to. Knowing the difference. No, I'm not just going to break lease. I'm going to protect myself legally, and I will lay the legal fucking smackdown. I'm not bragging. I'm not bragging. That was a fucked up situation. I ended up developing PTSD off that shit. Still dealing with PTSD. Had to pay out of pocket for all of my therapy and treatment. Still fucking paying. The costs that I incur for my lack of proactiveness, that's something I need to pay. That I'm worth making whole again. Not going to skip on that. No. And I realized the reason that I got all the way to the degree that I now have a fucking full-on diagnosis of PTSD is because I didn't lay the fucking smackdown to begin with. I'm not saying I deserve that. I'm not saying it's my fault. I'm saying my betrayal for myself of not saying anything because I didn't want drama. Some people just want drama. And now I look back and like, had I fucking did that shit right from the start, I wouldn't have taken like, 6 months of being emotionally injured. It wouldn't have taken that long. I could have actually put something into place where I could have protected my rights. And it's this thing of when we avoid what needs to be addressed, we open ourselves up to be injured in ways we don't need to be injured. Learn that lesson real good. Never again. Never again. You show me narcissistic tendencies and you show you are triangulating me, there will be severe, heavy-handed fucking consequences because I'm not waiting. I am not waiting. Nope. Never again. From this point on, actually from that point on, anyone who tries to do shit, I will prosecute. As a matter of fact, not long ago, we were driving on a mountain road. It's a 2-lane mountain road covered with concrete dividers. Okay. There's nowhere for you to go. You're either going to hit a concrete divider or you're going to go over the edge. Right. And this guy was pissed off because someone quickly, went into his lane. We're right behind him. So someone in the right lane cut him off because they're trying to avoid something in the right lane. That person was behind a big rig. He's pissed off and you're like, oh shit, that's fucked up. And then next thing you know, the big rig cuts him off too. Oh shit, that's fucked up. Which I get it. I'd be pissed too. This motherfucker, you know what he did? So as soon as the big rig gets past whatever was causing him to feel he needed to swerve into the guy's lane in front of him, He gets out of the fast lane and goes into the right lane again. At which point, the guy right in front of us who got cut off by 2 cars, he decides to go in front of the big rig, cut him off at less than a car length away, and slam on his brakes. Are you fucking serious right now? On a 2-lane road? Where there's no space for anyone to go if there's an accident? And so the big rig, I'm telling you, the big rig is going to swerve into our lane. I don't know why he jerked it back into the right lane, but had he continued going, we were in his blind spot. The fuel tanker that he was carrying would have crushed my side of the cabin. What's funny is, like, a few minutes before that, I was looking out the window. I was like, something's weird. I feel something on my head. Like this whole part right here felt weird. Felt like it'd been like crushed in or some shit. I was like, I feel weird. My head feels weird. When you endanger other vehicles like that, because that would not have just been an accident. It's a fuel fucking tanker, yo. He's chugging along with fuel. That would have been an explosion on the mountain. It would have. I assume what I felt was the airbags deploy and concuss me severely. Yeah. So luckily, I'm not sure why, but he swerved right out of our lane before he actually hit us. And at which point I promptly took a picture of the guy's license plate. Did you know you can call 911? You just have to know what freeway you're on, what direction you're heading, and the mile marker. You can call 911 from your cell phone and they'll dispatch either highway patrol or a sheriff, maybe even sometimes both. He was pulled over. Dispatch asked me, would you be willing to sign a statement? Abso-fucking-lutely. Abso-fucking-lutely, because he fucking nearly killed us. And I have sessions today, motherfucker. No, the session's fire. That just leave that out. But yeah, no, absolutely. No, we're not playing that shit. We're not playing that shit. Anytime someone does that, because that's not the first time someone did that and nearly killed us using a big rig. That's not the first time. And I've learned every single time from this point on, the only way people learn is through consequence. Let me be karma for you today. I'm going to report your shit as a drunk driver. Because when you're doing things like that, seems like you're drunk. Seems like you're fucking drunk. And if that's the only way people are going to learn so that people don't have to unnecessarily lose their lives, let me be your karma. So let me go ahead and be your karma. I'm now the person who is willing to absolutely press charges. I come from a culture where that's not allowed. You don't do that, right? I do. You want to do shit like that? There's consequences. We're not going vigilante anymore. We're not. There's no more. No, we're not going to be fist fighting. No. All of that shit, that's bullshit, childish shit. I'm not a child. I'm too old for that shit at this point. Consequences. Making these decisions that hold people accountable for their behaviors, right? That's what you need to begin doing. I'm not saying seeking out people to punish. That's nonsensical. That's you being hurt by someone and taking it out on other people. I'm talking about when someone does something that endangers you in some way, shape, or form, there needs to be legal consequences for that. There needs to be an appropriate response to that. There does. It's about learning to discern what level of response you need to take, okay? And I think for some of us, the level of response that you need to take, it causes you to feel uncomfortable because you feel like, oh, you're just being dramatic. Oh, that's mean. Oh, everyone has a story. I do too. That spiritual logic that, spiritual communities have been teaching for a couple years now of everyone has a story. Think of what they might be going through. Yeah, no, I have a story too. I'm going through something too. Stay in your fucking lane and behave yourself so that our stories don't have to intersect or commingle. But I will no longer be anyone's whipping girl or whipping boy. I will no longer be the unwanted recipient. I'm not willing to. I'm just not, I'm not willing to. And I shouldn't have to, neither should you. And this is how you exert your dominance within your space. You don't allow this kind of bullshit to continue. Just don't. Don't. Okay? So card number 44, Bhavatarini, the tantric priestess of karmic release, manifests with a capacity to integrate higher divine energy into even the most stubborn patterning that has so far resisted healing. I think part of what you're trying to heal is this need to be respected and treated with a certain level, a certain minimal level of respect, right? Like, you want that minimum level of respect that is just about preserving your dignity. An existence without dignity is barely existing. I'm telling you, so many of us empaths have been conditioned to believe, to wholeheartedly believe that we are being difficult, we are being the drama if we speak up for ourselves, if we exert some type of boundaries. That's not true. It's not true. The only people that will go ahead and make you feel that way are the people who are benefiting from your silence and lack of proactive action. Those are the only people. Because good people won't do that to you. You won't even have to ask for respect. You won't have to ask for dignity. They will simply see you and they will honor your dignity and your respect. They will provide that for you, right? It's the people who, for one reason or another, they went through something that's causing them to believe that their needs supersede your own. No, not here, not today, not ever. But you can fuck around and find out if you want. You can. You can. I hope you're not taking my Asian face as some type of indication that I will be docile with you. Your girl's spicy. I'm just a little bit spicy. I'm like on the level of spice. I would say I'm like Thai extra spicy. I'm not Thai, but y'all know what I'm saying if you've ever been to a Thai restaurant. You don't fuck with that Thai spice if you don't know what Thai spice is. You just don't. You don't. You don't, because that will make you cry. Oh, shit. I'm remembering one time I ordered from a Thai restaurant. I asked my brother, like, how spicy do you want it? You want it like spicy or extra spicy or Thai spicy? And he goes, Thai spicy. And he really likes spicy food. So I was like, you sure? He goes, yeah. And I was like, okay. I ordered Thai spicy. This fool came down. He's like, he was breathing weird. He was breathing weird. And I was like, you said Thai spicy. I don't fuck around with Thai spice like that. I stay mild, not medium, mild. We're going with mild. That's just enough heat. All right. So card number 44, Bhavatarini. When momentum is building and you don't know how to stop fueling the fire or reverse the damage, she appears. Her presence indicates that this is a powerful time for spiritual work and healing. She will support the work and much growth can come from it, particularly at this time. No matter how wild they may seem, the storms of your life shall be gentled. You shall emerge unharmed. What this is telling me this line of when momentum is building and you don't know how to stop fueling the fire or reverse the damage. It's like sometimes things get so far out of hand that we just really don't know how to fix it at that point, right? And it's like you either feel like you have to commit to go all the way down the road of destruction, or you have to just let people, because you already gave permission. You can fucking retract your permission if you want. Fuck that shit. You can absolutely change your mind if you want. Let me pop this shit. Change your mind. I'm serious. You can change your mind. People will be like, you can't change your mind. It's too late now. Absolutely, I can change my mind. Absolutely. I made that decision before you showed me what you're really about. Absolutely, I can change my mind. I can't change my mind because I'm committed to no. 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 Fuck that shit. Are you kidding me? I can't change my mind for what? Because you said so? Well, bitch, you didn't show me what you was really about until after. So if you can change yourself up, I can fucking change my mind. Absolutely. I can change my mind. And that's where you need to really just hold your ground. You need to really just hold your ground and be like, no, if you had shown me this is what you're really about and this is your actual objective, I would have never agreed. So I can absolutely change my mind. When you withhold information in order to gain my agreement, no, that's void. That's void. Mm-hmm. And I fucking slow blinked you. I'll do it again. Mm-hmm. What you gonna do? Have your tantrum? Tell people that, oh, Emmy changed her mind. Go the fuck ahead. I'll even bring you on my live stream so you can tell all my people. Go the fuck ahead. And that's the thing. That's the thing. They require your silence to make these horrible things for you happen for you. At this point, most people will not fuck with me. Why? Because I'll talk about it openly. I'm not going to fucking be ashamed. I conduct myself with integrity, especially when no one is looking. I'm not going to fucking be ashamed. Last time that happened was like a year, 2 years ago. I don't remember. Someone's trying to come in the comments and be like, she stole, I don't even remember how much I don't. Here's a reality. Okay. You coming on here. Okay. Well, let's just be real here. You mad because I took your demon away and then you wanted your demon back. And I fucking told your ass, don't invite that shit back because he's going to come back. And then it came back. And then you said I stole from you. I did not steal from you. You wasted my fucking time is what happened. Bitch, if you like your demon, keep it. Keep it. And if you're going to talk about what you spent, let's also talk about in that one session, I performed 3 additional services for free, trying to help you that you weren't charged for. And don't forget to mention you paid an expedite fee because you didn't want to wait. What's there to be ashamed of? I did what I was paid for. And then you did what you do, which is what? Welcome your demon back home. Bitch, you happy. You happy. You think you're going to embarrass me if you come on my live stream and tell people? You just fucking open the door for us to talk about it publicly. Go ahead. Tell motherfuckers. I'll tell motherfuckers too. That's what you wanted. I'm not tripping because I always conduct myself with integrity. Always. And that's the thing. Maybe that's what we need to kind of touch on is that, is your fear based on, other people finding out that maybe you didn't conduct yourself with integrity 1 time, 2 times, the whole time? I don't know. That doesn't necessarily make you a bad person. That makes you aware of what you need to recalibrate about yourself, about the way you carry yourself, about the way you handle your life. Okay? This is a place of empowerment This is not about, bullshitting you by saying, no, oh, they're wrong. No, 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 no. It's not about right or wrong. It's about what did you decide that got you to this place, and how will you shift what's happening for you right now? And what will you do if this circles back around, right? I mean, unless you need to go through that cycle again, you're going to have to make different choices. So let's see. Her presence indicates that this is a powerful time for spiritual work and healing practices. She will support the work, and much growth can come from it, particularly at this time. No matter how wild they may seem, the storms of your life shall be gentled. You shall emerge unharmed. Goddess Kali, as Bhavatarini, is a tantric priestess of karmic release and spiritual blessing. So this goes and circles right back around to this need for you to purge, process, and purge. Allow yourself to be aware of what you have lived through, process how it affected you, and then release that back out into the wilderness that is your spiritual path. She liberates devotees from karmic struggles, especially those who keep repeating the same patterns with different players. Her presence in a reading implies that Divine Mother's blessing of divine disruption. Sometimes the jolt of the disruption is such a shock that it's temporarily unpleasant, and we feel, therefore, it is unwanted or harmful. However, once we allow the workings of such disruption to realign our affairs, we will come to recognize and be grateful for what's taking place. It's about really recognizing what process you're in. So many of us are in various processes, and we don't want to acknowledge what it is because we have this fear that if we acknowledge it, it becomes real. And if it becomes real, then we can't pretend that it never happened. But it did happen. It is real. Pretending it never happened and that it's not real, it's what's causing your pain to amplify and worsen. So just deal with it. Like, how do we deal with it? You face it head on. But you face it head on. You can do a lot even when you're afraid. Did you know that? Even when you're afraid, you can still take the appropriate action that's necessary to get you to the place you need to be within your life, within your journey, all of that. Did you know we're working on 6 years of being publicly visible? I feel like I haven't done enough. I should be so much further down the line. That's okay, girl. Don't worry about it. You figure that out later. But in nearly 6 years of being visible, publicly visible, I would say the first 3 or 4 years, I was afraid every single time I live streamed. And it wasn't even something that I was hiding. It was just something that I would be aware of, and I would just continue live streaming anyways. But there was fear there. There was fear that was present. That doesn't make me weak. It makes me aware. Aware of what? Aware of where I'm at within my journey. I wasn't afraid of other people harming me, and I knew many were trying. I was afraid of what I would do in response to it. I was afraid that in my lack of control in the response that I would give, my energetic response as well as verbal response, that I would somehow harm someone. I would lose control and harm someone energetically. That's what I was afraid of. And my awareness of that, because the fear gave me an awareness of where I was at within my perception of my ability to control myself and show restraint. It gave me the opportunity to work on it. The lack of fear of that would have made me unaware of what I needed to work on. So fear is necessary. It creates an awareness of what you need to be aware of. Are you aware that fear is one of the last vestiges of our primal existence? It's one of the last pieces of it, right? And so when we needed the fear, it was during a time where we did not control our environments to the degree that we can control it now. We are one of the weakest mammals on Earth. We have no teeth or claws. We don't even have the fur to protect us from the elements. And so we had to be afraid, because in that space of lack of capacity, lack of awareness of how we can manipulate our environment to protect us, to keep us safe, we needed to be aware, a level of awareness that kept us alive. And that awareness came to be known as fear. And so that's what fear originally was intended. If you feel afraid, your attention is focused on what you're fearing, because what you're fearing can absolutely consume you, literally. And now we have the capacity, we have the ability to modify our environment to the degree that we don't have to exist in fear, because we're not actually in danger in that sense anymore, theoretically. And so fear is really nothing more than a mechanism that helps us to be aware of the very things we need to pay attention to. Every time I was afraid of the street, I was afraid of where it was going. I was afraid of what the next step was. I was just afraid. I was afraid. And it's my very fear that crippled me to a degree for the past couple of years that has really stunted my growth. And it's not about comparing to someone else. It's about recognizing my proper trajectory and timeline were modified by me because of my fear of where it was headed. I'm aware to a degree that's typically unheard of. And I don't say that like I'm better than people. I say that like, girl, you know what the fuck you did. You know how the fuck you tampered with the trajectory of your work. You know what you did. You hold yourself accountable for what you did. You did something cowardly. You intentionally alienated people so that you wouldn't continue to grow. And you tried to cocoon yourself to prevent that growth because you didn't want more people to witness you as you grew. So I'm absolutely aware of what I did. Absolutely. A lot of my behaviors over the past 2 years is geared towards alienating people away from me. I'm aware of that shit. Was I doing it intentionally? Not cognitively, but I look back and like, girl, you know what the fuck you were doing. Your behavior and all of that, like being rude, that is a part of me. That's not an act. That's a part of me. That's a part of me that most people can't tolerate. And I'm aware of that. It's not a part I need to be ashamed of, because that part comes out when it's necessary. So this is me existing in a way where I'm not ashamed of any of my parts, but I'm aware of the way I misused some of my characteristics, some of my personality to sabotage my own growth. Oh, look at that. Top card, sabotage, self-sabotage. You feel this in your heart. If you've been on the same type of self-sabotage journey that I've been on over the past couple of years, you feel it in your heart. You can feel yourself resonating with what I'm saying. Quiet yourself down for a moment. Really just feel it. Feel it. Don't be ashamed. It's a part of your journey. It's a part of your learning. It's a part of your learning. Okay? Don't be ashamed of any part of your journey. I'm not ashamed of my behavior of the past 2 years. A lot of that did have to do with my mom passing away, me being fucking pissed off about it, right? That's normal. Some people grieve in that way. Should I be ashamed that I was in the process of grieving publicly? And what kind of asshole do you have to be to shame someone for grieving? Right? When we phrase it in that way, when we phrase it in a way that doesn't excuse your behavior, but helps to explain it and helps to shed a very powerful light on people's unrealistic, unfair, misaligned, absolutely assholish expectations of you. And, you know, I still remember this. I wouldn't be surprised if that person still watches me too. There was someone that I needed to have a session with. I was scheduled to have a session with them that morning that my mom died. And I tried to still have the session. And then I realized I couldn't because I was rushing to get to my mom as she's dying in a hospital without me. And then the person had the nerve to be like, oh, I'm going to tell all my people about this. Show them the full email so they can see how much of a fucking asshole you are. My mom is dying, right? Hmm. Yeah. Yeah. In that moment, was their need more valid than my own? And it's funny because it was just for a ClairTarot reading. If I remember right, that's what the session was. It was a ClairTarot reading. Yeah. I was trying so hard to bend over backwards. Like, I don't want to disappoint you. And you know who you are if you're watching. I don't remember your name anymore. But you know who you are. You're a fucking bitch. I'll never forgive you for that. Never. I'll never forget that. Ever. I'm not angry anymore, but I'm pretty sure you're still a bitch. Yeah. And then you waited, what, like 6 months or something? And then you tried to reach out again, like, oh, I've changed. I don't give a shit. Because I haven't. I haven't. I'll never forget. Because this is who I am. Instead of calling my mom while she was still able to talk, I was back and forth emailing with you to prevent you from being disappointed. Although I'll never forgive you, I'll understand deeply and profoundly the part you played in my trajectory, in my learning. I didn't learn because of you. You're still an asshole. I learned in spite of you. I learned to no longer give until it hurts, because even that's not enough. I learned to exist with no apologies. And until I can get that day back, be on the phone with my mom instead of you, you'll never get the ability to book a session with me back either. We'll suffer together. You'll never have the clarity I don't get to have because I didn't talk to her. So I could email you. That's the meanest shit I could do to someone. You earned it. You earned it. Sure, you still watch. It's like you said. No one can give you clarity the way I can. May we suffer together endlessly. As long as I don't have clarity, you won't either. And people will tell you, that's fucked up, Emmy, let it go. No, never. Never. That's for me to always remember and hold in my heart as a reminder. No matter how much you give, it's never enough for the takers. Never enough. And so you still have to learn. And it's not that I don't have peace in my heart. Because I do. My mom couldn't have left in peace had I talked to her and begged her to stay. And this realization, no matter how old, I'd be never ready to let her go. Never. I would never be ready, willing, or courageous enough to willingly let her go. Ever. I think for many of us, we hold ourselves to a standard that just tears us apart. And maybe that standard is necessary. I will always be an overachiever. I will always overgive. I will always be more than what other people are expecting me to be just for the sake of being that for them. Because that's who I am. No matter however amount of money or fame or any of that, I'll never change. That will always be who I am and how I am. I'm someone who remembers your part in my journey, whether I say it or not. I always remember the part people play because that's who I am. I remember the ways in which you grew me, the ways in which your abandonment hurt me and broke me open so another me could come through. Because that's who I am. This is about feeling your truth within your chest and allowing your truth to come out and be witnessed by the people who have begged to witness you, even without being able to verbalize it. This is about stepping into your purpose and flowing with the trajectory that was already set for you by your soul before you even took your first breath. And I tell you, as much as I remember that person and their treatment of me as my mother was dying, I also remember the other people. The people who treated me in the exact polar opposite of that person. The ones who reached out to console me, the ones who had to be rescheduled and were like, no, don't worry about me. Please, please worry about your family. You give so much already. Please do not worry about any of that. I still remember those people too. I remember who was scheduled that day. It was a full schedule. I remember all of that. Even with my shitty memory, I will never forget that day. I remember being in Walmart in Wyoming, a couple hours from, was it Utah? Letting the doctors know, please put my mom as a DNR. We have to let her go. And 30 minutes later, in the middle of me texting with my best friend, on the road, as the sun was setting, my mom texted on my phone. I think she texted, I go. Sent it to my best friend. I looked at my phone. I was like, I did not text that. But I knew who did. And I told her my mom's gone. And then 5 minutes later, the hospital called. Sometimes you cry as merely an overflow of pain. There's no actual release. And I'm realizing 2.5 years later, I haven't actually processed anything. Because I haven't. I carry on like she's just in California and that I've been too busy to call. And we all process our pain differently. But when the way you process your pain hurts other people, it's not okay. It's not okay. It's also not okay for you to allow for that pain to be your prison, right? Allowing your pain to be the very thing that prevents you from opening to the world, a world that prayed for you to exist. That was one of the most profound realizations that my mother's death gave me. That at some point, someone existed, or maybe it's multiple people existed, and prayed for an answer that they did not know was an answer. They just begged for an answer to be given to whatever problem was hurting them so deeply. And in the omni-intelligence of Creator itself, the only solution that Creator could come up with for such a painful, complex problem was the existence of you. Grief is definitely not linear. It's definitely not linear. And everything happens in the way it's meant to happen. I can't emphasize that enough. Everything in your life, even your bad decisions, your mistakes, all of those things, those are the way it's meant to happen. And if you allow yourself to learn and grow through that, it wasn't a mistake. It wasn't a misstep. It was the lesson itself. There's no other way to come to terms with the fact that a week before my mom died, I had purchased a plane ticket to land the morning that she had her heart problem. I purchased a plane ticket for that day. I would have landed right when she had her cardiac event. I would have been there the several hours it took for her to take her last breath and her heart to fail. I would have watched her suffer. And I would have begged her the entire time to please don't go. And she wouldn't have. She would have chosen suffering. Just so I wouldn't be disappointed. She was the one that told me that weekend that it was a waste to fly in that day because I had just seen her. Stop being so wasteful and cancel that ticket and wait. Wait to come see her. She's the one that insisted. Was that a mistake to cancel it? No. It was the greatest show of compassion and grace that my mom was capable of. I know I comfort her with my presence. I know she knows that whenever I'm there, nothing bad can happen to her. And so sometimes you hurt about the what ifs, but the what ifs are the things that would have unnecessarily broken you. And sometimes the times where you feel like you're just being broken by life, they're the times that you misunderstood and you're actually being broken open. You definitely can't unsee something that you've seen. I 100% believe, 100% believe my brother's heart problems. She died looking him in the eyes. And he took on the weight of her pain in order for her to let go. He told her, "It's okay, I'll take care of everything. You can go." As empaths, we feel so deeply. He almost died from a broken heart. Down to 7% heart function. His ejection fraction rate was about 7%. And he was slated to have open heart surgery for a heart transplant if they could find a donor. As empaths, sometimes the things that we feel breaks our heart, we have to be very careful about our manifestation ability, because the more deeply you believe something, positive or negative is irrelevant, the more deeply you believe something, the higher the likelihood of you manifesting it. So what are you manifesting for yourself? What type of experiences, what type of opportunities are you manifesting for yourself? Are you even aware? You feel this potentiality in your heart, but have you tried to make sense of what that is? I think this final card is going to help us make sense. Kalatara. She's not bound by appearance, opinions, or material limitations. She is both the void and the infinite creative potential that arises from it. Do not be afraid of uncertainty. If you feel you are without resources, take comfort now. Where there is lack, she restores abundance. She can bring forth exquisite blessing and glorious manifestation from the sacred expanse of nothingness. Your soul can rely upon her completely. Cast your fears away. Hers is the power of the universe. Combined with the generosity of grace. Something tremendous is being created. Something tremendous is absolutely being created. And space is being made for a potential that scares you, but you're absolutely worthy of whatever this potential is. Room is being made for growth, for birth, for the bringing to manifestation, to fruition, the very things that are necessary. When hope is lost and a way forward cannot be sensed, Kaladhara arises as a reminder of the endless creativity and resourcefulness of the divine feminine. Her love will always find a way. If the way does not yet exist, then it shall be created. If you cannot see or feel how to move from where you are now to where you want to be, Kali's wisdom and grace manifest to provide what is needed at the perfect time. Prepare yourself by regularly connecting to your heart as you remain open to receive inner guidance on how to proceed. Also, take rest and be at peace in your connection with her. If inhibiting or obstructing forces are at work, she knows how to use them so that we grow stronger rather than weaker. And when the time is right, annihilates them, thus ceasing their influence over us or our affairs. The presence of Kalahadra reassures us that during those times when nothing appears to be happening in our outer world, there can be much of value taking place at an inner level. It's possible to learn how to see, sense, and feel. The subtle inner workings of the soul. It requires a willingness to withdraw our faith from appearances and to no longer limit our sense of what is real to the physical world. We can practice dropping beneath the limited perceptions of the five senses by willingly entering into the sacred darkness of unknowing, the cosmic void. When one sense is minimized, others are heightened. When we're willing to let go of the idea that the physical world is absolute, we can develop our innate capacity for extraordinary extrasensory perception and tune into the sixth sense of the soul. We can learn to trust what we intuitively sense, even in the absence of external confirmation. So, this circles all the way back round to what we were talking about at the very beginning. This needing to learn to trust what you intuitively know, this need to learn yourself, to learn about your accuracy and to believe in it. Sometimes it's not enough to learn. Sometimes it requires your belief. When we intuit at such a level, we gain the ability to recognize the truth beyond appearances. Rather than seeing the surface of the earth as barren and becoming desperate, we can joyfully sense that within the depths of the soil, a seed is gathering life force and will soon crack open to become a lush green shoot, then a plant that blooms with flowers and fruit. Kalahadra brings guidance that something barely discernible is stirring within. You're not fully aware of it yet, okay? You're not fully aware of what's happening and what space is being created for. There is a space that's being created within you, and it's to house something so profound, something that maybe you don't even realize you are worthy of yet. She reminds us that nothing is ever hopeless, no matter how much the mind may believe so. Through trust in her, we become an active expression of the solution to any difficulty. Kalahadra brings the crescent moon. The moon in crescent form shows us there is light, but not full clarity. It does not mean that clarity does not exist, that the full light of sun no longer exists, but that for a time there can only be partial vision or understanding. This need not be a concern because we can trust in the Divine Mother who has complete understanding ways, always. Where we are lacking in skill or capacity in any given moment, she more than makes up for the deficit. If what you see or what you sense lacks clarity, you need not worry. Even those with excellent perception cannot know certain things, and that is no reason to be concerned. We can trust that the Divine Mother knows what's happening and what is needed. When the divine timing is right, you shall see the greater picture more clearly. Until then, proceed with care and only do what feels necessary in the moment, understanding that you shall have a different perspective later. You'll understand later. Okay, you will definitely understand later. The Oracle of Kalahadra marks the ending of a cycle after the full moon, when things have gone as far as they can go. So we just entered into a full moon last weekend, I believe, or the weekend before. And if you track the cycles of the moon, you'll be able to know when all of these things will begin to unfold for you in the way they're meant to unfold. And it's going to be a process. It's not just going to happen wham bam one day, thank you, ma'am. It's just not. It's going to be the start of the process. And the initiation of a fresh cycle following the black or new moon, when what has fallen away shall rise again in revised form. Our beloved Kali Kalahadra, cosmic lunar priestess, is by Ravi, she who controls the changes taking place in the universe and our lives. We can trust her timing and our own process. Stay true to your inner work and know that your efforts shall bear fruit. Staying true to yourself. Sorry. I popped it back into place. Staying true to yourself and knowing that your process goes beyond that which you can currently comprehend, while also knowing that your level of comprehension will continue to change, to shift, to grow, and expand with each new experience that you have. It's time you trust yourself. It's time that you really, really go through the process of trusting the life that you're living. You know exactly what you're doing, even without knowing. Let's say that together. I know exactly what I'm doing, even when I don't know. Your soul is guiding you towards the people, places, situations, and opportunities that could be of the most benefit for you. Flowing with that is not you being selfish. It's you stepping into a space of surrender to your soul. Stop allowing people to convince you. that unless you exist in a state of martyrdom, that you're somehow selfish or less than. There's nothing that you need to do or give to someone else that they cannot do or get for themselves. That doesn't mean you no longer help people. That means you allow your heart to guide you to the ones that you should absolutely be a part of. Okay? And this is what I'm learning, that I will want to help everyone, but not everyone is supposed to be helped by me. That sometimes there will be people who insist that I be the one when I know for a fact that I'm not. I am not the one. I am not the one who will solve your problems. I am not the one who will give you the clarity that you need. And for me to insert myself is for me to interfere with a divine process that I have no right, no authority to interfere with. Trust yourself, trust your journey, trust that you are absolutely at the right place at the right time every single time, every single place, that's where you are supposed to be. I have full trust now that I'm never somewhere I'm not supposed to be. And that if I don't hear the first warning, I'll be given additional warnings. And if I continue, then I will absolutely suffer because of what I chose for myself, since I didn't listen to the warnings. There was this place where I needed to get something and I couldn't get it. And then instead of just like, oh, maybe I'm not supposed to be here, I asked my husband to get it. And so he was able to get it. And then there was another thing that occurred a couple minutes later where it's like, no, you can't go in, member of the party. And then it was like, no, but I know the rules. Yes, you can. And so he went in. And then there was additional drama. Maybe like, I don't know, 3 minutes later, 5 minutes later, additional drama. And I was still like, no, motherfucker, you can't make me leave. I'm going to the second floor, bitches. And so I went to the second floor and we were there and I was contemplating how I could misbehave and get away with it. And then they told us when we were on the second floor, it's going to be forever until you can eat. And I was like, maybe we should just go. Because who knows how that would have turned out if I continued to stay and not listen. Every single time that I've hurt myself unnecessarily, it's because I stayed despite the fact that my soul kept telling me not to. Every single time. Stop hurting yourself. You don't need to be punished. You need to be loved. And if the environment that you're in, if the situation that you're in is incapable of giving you the love that you need, not the love you prefer, but the love that you need in that moment, then you need to visit a different environment that is capable of it. Okay? Because you deserve love. I want to do one last thing for you guys before I go. If you would like to receive some recalibration for vagus nerve, if you struggle with anxiety and things like that, I'm not telling you that this is replacing medical treatment because it's not, but this can help if it's energetic imbalance, hyperstimulation of certain energetic structures. So I'm going to be doing that work. If you would like to receive some of that work, simply comment hashtag Emmy, EMMIE, hashtag Emmy, and we could do that. I will say, because it's important for you guys to know, if a person has been banned from my space because of their poor treatment of me, their lack of respect, or malignant behaviors, you don't get any more of my energy, and I don't care if it hurts your feelings because I've given you enough. Okay? So this is for all of you who don't need to be punished because of someone else. So hashtag Emmy, I'm going to play some music for us. And I'm going to do that work. And if you're not able to comment hashtag Emmy, you're probably one of those people. So you don't get my energy. All right, guys. Breathe deep and slow. For those of you sensitive to energy, you might begin to feel a cool sensation, very gentle, running across the left side of your chest and near the left side of your neck and shoulders. You might begin to feel a release of emotions. It's okay. If it's hard for you to release, allow yourself to feel my hand on your chest, right on top of your heart. You're safe. You're loved. Let go. Take a deep breath in, and as you exhale, feel the things you need to release right on your breath out of your field. Feel your sense of self returning back to you. Feel your calm and your peace. Feel a wave of love wash over you gently. You know who you are. You know what you deserve. Allow everything that's rightfully yours to come back home to you. Just breathe. Breathe, let go, and allow. Allow the process of your healing to receive acknowledgement from you. Think of your physical pain. Feel that pain begin to disappear. Feel a warmth and a comfort taking its place. A satisfaction at your life, no matter what's happened. Your life is good. You are good. And life will continue to improve from here on out. With your hand on your chest, I want you to say something with conviction. This is my truth. I will thrive. This is my truth. I will thrive. Take one more deep breath in. Slow exhale out. Allow yourself to come back to center. Allow yourself to quantify how different your life feels. Even with nothing having changed in the past couple seconds, notice how different your life feels to you. Notice how at peace you are. One more deep breath in. Very slow exhale out. Very slowly, very gently. Open your eyes and rejoin me in this space that we share. I want you to know you are just as supported by creation as I am. There's no difference between you and I, only different spaces of acceptance, surrender, and embrace to soul. That's the only difference. You are just as protected, just as supported as I am by creation. Anything short of that is a lie that you need to stop believing in. Call your peace back home to you. So, take your right hand. Why does it look like an 11? That's new. Literally. That's new. Okay. Anywho, you take your hand. See this little area that goes up? This little like triangle area right here? Pull your hand back. Take your right index finger and feel for it. If you can feel, it's like a little depression there. Once you feel it, take your left thumb and press on it while pulling your hand back, okay? Feel that. You feel that? It's like calm kind of just flung through you. Start with your right hand and then do your left. You want to make sure your thumb is flat against it, right? Completely flat, and that's where you're pressing. You feel that? Every time you forget exactly how much you deserve, do that first to the heel of your right palm and then to the heel of your left. That places you back in center within yourself and your truth, and it perfectly aligns you to receive what is rightfully yours. There are people waiting for you to succeed so that you can fulfill a promise your soul made to them. Your success. It's no longer about your success anymore. It's about fulfilling promises made by soul for the people who are very patiently waiting for you to be ready to do so. Don't let them wait any longer than they need to. Okay? Don't let them wait. Don't force them to wait. Many of us come into this life with a desire, this desire to help others, to heal others. You don't necessarily do so in actions. You do so by simply allowing them to witness you. That's how powerful your existence is. So exist with no shame, no fear, no hiding. Exist. Allow people to see you in all your phases and stages, because every part of you is valid, is needed, and can help others to grow so beautifully and organically. Okay? So thank you so much for sharing this space with me. I'm trying to get myself back on track. If my bone would remain located rather than dislocated, that would help. That would greatly help. Until then, I will try my best to be live every morning like I usually am. But it's not easy for me to do right now. Okay. Thank you guys for being so patient and just really being understanding when I'm not present, that there isn't much short of an actual emergency or a natural disaster that keeps me from spending my mornings with all of you. Okay. So it's just one of those things. Bear with me. And I know you guys have been. Thank you so much. Please give this video a thumbs up. If you haven't already subscribed, please subscribe. I'm sorry. Michael just suddenly felt it was necessary for me to be physically aware of the amount of grace and compassion and love that you guys all have for me. Oh, that's profound. That's profound. I'm so grateful for you guys. Seriously, I already have such an amazing, loving, supporting family environment. I do. And it's like slowly coming to the realization that part of my purpose is to spread that type of love and peace that I have in my family environment on a day to day basis, spread it out into the world. And feeling all of you, feeling the gravity of the space that you hold for me consistently without me asking. It's overwhelming to know that just by living, just by being present, I'm somehow already spreading that kind of love and peace that I have on a day-to-day basis in my family home out into the world. That's huge. That's huge. Very, very huge. And I'm grateful for you guys. So grateful, especially to those of you who stuck it out through quite some time of me giving just really ugly attitude. It means a lot. Just it means so much. It really, really does. I will pop my bone back into place today. It's been popped out quite a few days. I'll pop it back in today, I promise. And I'll get back into my rightful headspace. And I'll be as present as I've been once again. So, guys, please give this video a thumbs up. If you haven't already subscribed, please do subscribe. Turn on that notification bell. Join me when I'm live, and I'll see you guys again very soon. Okay. Bye, everyone.